maintaining a big weight loss. How big? Well, my top non-pregnancy weight was 185 pounds, and through starting with weightlifting, excuse me, but then going keto and then carnivore, over the course of several years, I lost over 70 pounds. I went from 85 to 115, and now I am weight stable at 120. And I've stayed stable for more than 14 years, 15 years. So, but what's more important is the size loss. So I went from a 16 to this is a 0 that I'm wearing today. And of course, I'm only 5'1", so a 0 can be appropriate. Besides, this is made out of jersey. But the reason I'm making this video today, well, number one, I would much rather go live because I hate editing. I have RDS, reward deficiency syndrome, which is underlying things like ADHD and compulsive overeating, alcoholism, many different things. But I see in my lifestyle that one of the reasons I can't stand editing my YouTube videos is this sense of it takes too long and it's too boring and I need to move on to the next thing. So here's what happened. I got an email. So I was a certified personal trainer. I was trainer of the year in 2013 for helping people transform. So I'm on these email lists from, WebMD and different doctors. And I got an email from a weight loss doctor who's been using Ozempic with his clients. And the email was going out to trainers saying, help us keep these folks from gaining the weight back, especially after they go off the drug. And it's interesting because he said in this article, and of course I never did any, chemical or surgical interventions in order to lose my 70 pounds. But that's okay. If you need to do that, I worked with clients who did. But what's happening is that these folks, either they're not losing as much as they want, or they're stopping the drug and they're gaining it all back. And I realize that so much that I've learned from being carnivore for so long and being keto for so long applies to the same people. One of the things I noticed when Ozempic and semaglutide, they started to come out, is when people talked about how they felt on them, it sounded a lot like being keto carnivore, except except without the nausea that they sometimes experience. And I realized, wow, I think that a lot of what Ozempic is doing is it's mimicking the action of a very low carb diet, which means you're not running on glucose, you're burning free fatty acids for fuel, and it makes you feel energetic. And of course, it makes you lose a lot of weight. But what's happening is that because it's so expensive, eventually people want to go off of what they're using. And what happens is when they go off of it, they gain the weight back. And, even with something like going keto or going carnivore, you have to stick with it. I mean, I started my ketogenic journey in 2008. This is 2024. I mean, years ago. But the reality is that I've been able to stick with it for years. I like to joke that carnivore means never having to buy a new dress. So this dress is well over 10 years old, and the blue dress and the green dress that I use in a lot of my videos and a lot of my photographs, those dresses are 12, 15 years old, and I can't wait for them to get to 20, and just showing that I literally am staying the same size no matter how much older I get. And so what we see, and I know that it's not glamorous and it's not exciting and it doesn't sell, but my area of expertise is in maintenance and helping people keep off what they've lost. So in terms of keto or carnivore, so I'm on the carnivore forum, Women on Carnivore, on another platform. And what I see across the board is either when they stall or weight starts to come back, even though they're keeping it animal-based, very often they're not necessarily training. And one of the thing that started, like unlocked the door to my long-term fat loss, was the fact that I was lifting weights and doing intervals. And what that does is it improves insulin sensitivity right away and obviously improves mood. But I believe that it was that improvement in insulin sensitivity that actually gave me the mental and emotional ability to stick with my program. It's just everything. It calmed down the noise. I think I've mentioned that I've read Dr. Georgia Ead's book about, change your diet and change your mind. And she talks about lower carbohydrate, even to carnivore, for managing mental health issues. And that the lower the carbs go, the lower the toxic foods go, the more the mind quiets and the noise stops, and you're able to focus on the things that you want to do. And for me, a crucial element of maintaining literally from size 16 to size 0 is continuing to lift weights and do intervals in a safe way that I enjoy. I don't overdo it in the gym. I certainly don't overdo it when I'm out doing my intervals. As a matter of fact, I just read a study that walking intervals are effective. So you can literally go out on your walk and walk faster for a minute and then do an interval of, 1 to 3 minutes going, just strolling, and then walk faster. And I'm thinking, I think if people understood how little it takes to actually get the training and the intervals to have an effect, they might be more willing to do it. But what I see, and I used to be a personal trainer and I had my own fitness studio, is there's this sense that when people come into your studio and they come in for a training session or a group session, they want to get their money's worth and they want you to work them hard so that they burn calories. And maybe it was me. I guess it was. I was never able to convince enough people that it wasn't about burning calories. It was about developing muscle in order to have better insulin sensitivity. So here I am today, 16 to 0, going on 16 years of being keto carnivore, and this is how I maintain a big weight loss. So I hope that you will find activities that you enjoy, maybe move some heavy things, maybe do some intervals, and on top of that, find the way of eating that works for you. Basically, for me, it was 3 things: lift weights, do intervals, and reduce my carbohydrates to the level where food wasn't driving me crazy anymore. But as always, eat for yourself, eat and let eat, and be well.